Hello and welcome to Wuhan in central China for semi-finals day at the Dongfeng Citroën BWF Thomas Cup Finals. This is the 27th edition of the Thomas Cup, and earlier today we saw Korea battle their way past Denmark 3-1 in the first of the two semi-finals. Tonight we have the hosts and defending champions up against Japan. Of course, the hosts, China, have won this competition 8 times previously, including the last 4 occasions. For Japan, well, they're making their second consecutive semi-final appearance. 2 years ago, they lost in the semi-final to Indonesia 3-1. Well, this is day 6 of competition, and I can tell you that the action has been hotting up all week, and there the smash speeds, Fu High flying 290 kilometers an hour. That's 180 miles per hour. Well, we won't see the women's speeds beaten tonight because, of course, tonight is purely Thomas Cup. Of course, the Hubei Cup final will happen tomorrow with the Thomas Cup final on Sunday. Well, as I was saying, Korea in the first of the Thomas Cup semi-finals earlier today disposed of Denmark 3-1. We know the lineup for the Hubei Cup final. It is China against Korea. Will it be a similar story here in the Thomas Cup as well? Well, China, incredibly, in their 16th consecutive semi-final here in this particular competition. Standard lineup for the 5 matches should we need to go the full distance. Best of 5 matches, of course, 3 singles, 2 doubles, and it all starts with the first men's singles, then first men's doubles, second men's singles, second doubles, and if it goes to a 5th and final match, it's all down to the 3rd men's singles. Well, of course, China, as defending champions, are overwhelming favourites, it has to be said. They, playing at home, really do love the opportunity. Well, I'm Jill Clark, and I'm sitting alongside former Danish head coach Steen Petersen, and of course, Steen, the first of those matches, the first men's singles, and just listen to the roar of the crowd as the reigning world and Olympic champion Lin Dan is introduced to the fans. The first of our matches will be a battle of the left-handers because his opponent from Japan, Sasaki, also a lefty. Here he comes, but Steen, this is a tall order for Japan.
Definitely, we've been seeing the Chinese Thomas Cup team being absolutely clinical in all their matches. I think they've dropped 1 game on their way to the semi-final, and Lin Dan has been in excellent condition, gearing up clearly for the Olympics, trying to become the first double Olympic champion. So it'll be really a tough task for Sasaki here, but on the other hand, could he spring a surprise, then it would be a huge boost for the Japanese team.
Absolutely. Well, he's sprung a surprise in the past because this is the 9th meeting between these two men, and Sasaki on the previous 8 has won just 1 of them, but he has therefore got the belief that his opponent can be beaten. Well, for Sasaki, the 29-year-old, this quite possibly his last campaign as far as Thomas Cup is concerned. He's been a great servant to Japan over the years, but as world number 6 against world number 2. And for China, when you consider that they have 4 singles players in the top 10, and incredibly 3 singles players in the top 4 in the world, when I say that they are overwhelming favourites, it's not an understatement. Well, the fans have all come to see Super Dan, as he's known here in China. He's an absolute megastar. And just look at his win-loss record for the year. 23-2. Well, he's been in great form throughout, so a big surprise in the quarter-final against Darren Liu of Malaysia, because he dropped the opening game, but look at the way he came back, 9-5. Lee Yongbo, his eagle eye, watching every shuttle that struck. For Sho Sasaki, well, 18-8, that just shows how many tournaments he's played this year. The best he's done in individual competition was a couple of semi-finals, the Korean Super Series and also the Australian Grand Prix Gold event. Well, undefeated so far. Well, Sho's undefeated, but I can tell you that that's a slight error, because in fact he lost to Simon Santoso in the quarter-final. Well, I have to say that China's consistency in the Thomas Cup over the years since they first joined this competition back in 1982 always reached at least the semi-final. So this their 16th consecutive semi-final. Well, when you talk about consistency and strength in depth of a nation, there's not many that can rival China. That was the last time they met, the Korean Open earlier this year. That was the semi-final, and as you could see, 2 straight games. But I have to make mention of the second round encounter at the Indonesian Premier Super Series event last year, when Sho Sasaki won in 2 straight games. The crowd responds to Lin Dan's name. So our umpire, Lin Kong from America, gets this match underway. And that's just wide. One suspects, Steen, that Lin Dan, after being stretched the full distance in the quarter-final against Darren Liu, will perhaps tighten up his game and perhaps be a little sharper for today's semi-final.
Yeah, I think he will. He will be out to give his team an excellent start, and you're doing that by being really concentrated, focused, and disposing of your opponent in 2 games. And I would be really surprised if anything else happens here, because when we're talking Lin Dan and year win-losses or career win-losses, there's actually different levels of Lin Dan. He's a very experienced player, won everything. A couple of things he even won twice or 3 times. So it takes something extra to get the best out of him, and I think this might be one of the occasions.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. He really is a big tournament player, Lin Dan. Reigning and 4 times world champion. Of course, reigning Olympic champion, we've already mentioned that. Asian Games gold medalist. Reigning and 5 times All England champion. Come the big matches, the big tournaments, cometh the man. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, for Japan to have any hope at all in this semi-final, you have to believe that Sho Sasaki has to pull off a major, major upset. Oh, he's missed it. Would you believe it?
But what a great read from Sasaki here. He knew that stroke was coming. with the defeat to Simon Santoso, who doesn't seem to be at his best at the moment. It's hard to believe that Sasaki can do anything to Lin Dan here. I simply don't think that he can play fast enough to keep up with the mighty Chinese.
Well, I think we discussed it in the Hubei Cup matches, Steen, the fact that the Japanese players have all been chasing Olympic qualifying points, and we actually questioned the number of events they've been playing and whether it was an accumulation of tiredness now for these Thomas and Hubei Cup finals here in Wuhan. But he doesn't look physically tired. It's whether emotionally he's a little bit drained. Woof. 250. That's 155 miles an hour.
That's one of the better smashes we've seen from singles players. Straight down the line.
Yep.
Another good read there.
And is trying to take his chances at the net one of the things that Sasaki must try and do in this match if he's to beat the Olympic champion?
Definitely, and I like his beginning. He's not held anything back, and is not really showing too much respect to Lin Dan, and that I think is one of the keys. Another good smash here. But, I'm afraid it might backfire. It's like sort of trying to tease a wild animal. Suddenly it gets at you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good analogy. When it took a second game and a defeat in the opening game against the Malaysian for Lin Dan to get really agitated and produce his best. Oh.
Excellent play here. The net shot of Sasaki just got a little bit inaccurate.
What, too far back or too high over the net?
Both, actually. So he couldn't really cover any corners a little bit more than others.
He's pushed it long.
And a good smash down the line, but he needs to vary that smash, because otherwise Lin Dan will pick up every single one of them from now on. You can't play the same shots every time. He's so great at reading his opponent, so he needs to smash cross, he needs to smash it to the body, he needs to make some cross clears from that corner as well to keep the opportunity open for winners at the straight smashes.
Oh, that was going out.
Yeah.
It's a good rally. Oh, my goodness. Well, that just absolutely proves your point, doesn't it? Because Lin Dan's ability on the defensive play and to read which way it's coming. There'd been a winning smash down his forehand side previously. This time, reads it on the cross court.
And I suspect that Lin Dan senses that he's picked up 2 or 3 straight smashes, so he's got this feeling that maybe the opponent wants to try to use the cross smash next time, and And I like the cross smash. The problem was that Lin Dan was in too good balance. He didn't really manage to get him off balance before his attack. So still hit the attack, but don't lose your own balance. Don't use too much power because you're going to run for it immediately after the shot. And to beat Lin Dan, it's really important that you get him moving. In a lot of matches, you can see Lin Dan just standing really close to the center of the court, making shots, a little bit of deception on every shot. And that's really nasty for the opponents because they're unable to read anything. But if you can get Lin Dan moving by playing really, really accurate shots, then you have a chance.
Well, thought the body smash was a good idea, but he didn't follow it up.
No, and the problem is that you're not going to win on the first attack against Lin Dan. Perhaps even not at the second. So you have to keep your balance. You have to be able to play on, and that's what we see is happening when he plays Li Chongwei. They have a lot of change of attack and defense within the rallies. Sometimes it's Lin Dan having the upper hand, sometimes it's Li Chongwei. And I feel that a lot of the other players are a little bit afraid to play with him.
Oh, that's clever. That was definitely in.
Right.
10, 9.
Well,
Great service from Sasaki.
yes, and stunned the crowd into silence the fact that Sasaki has a 2-point advantage at the mid-game interval on a run of 4 straight points.
We haven't really seen Lin Dan attacking yet, and that's also credit to Sasaki for always trying to keep the shuttles low, not giving away these dangerous angles that Lin Dan is so skillful in exploiting. Can virtually hit any corner from anywhere on his own part of the court.
Oh, that's great judgment from Sasaki. Lets it drop long.
12, 10.
Yeah, great judgment. We should perhaps make mention of the fact that Sasaki has not only beaten Lin Dan, but he's also had 3 victories over Chen Jin, while Chen Jin was world champion. So he obviously doesn't fear the Chinese players in the way some opponents do. Oh, that's good. What were you saying about his attacking style, being able to hit winners from any corner of the court?
Service over, 11-12.
260. Just getting faster and faster, isn't it?
And the thing is that I don't think that Lin Dan used maximum power here, so he was able to kick it up a bit if that was necessary, if it was a contest.
Service over, 13-11.
He's been doing brilliantly so far, Sasaki.
Yeah, and again in that rally, very, very positive from the front of the court.
Exactly, and he attacks Lin Dan. And that's what you need to do. You can't be afraid of him, because if you're afraid, you're going to get eaten alive. Wide. It's beginning to look a little bit like the first game the day before yesterday against Darren Liu. A lot of mistakes from Lin Dan, but credit to Sasaki for forcing him to make these mistakes. It's of course always easier to sit up here, but I would like him to keep that short. Would have fitted his playing style brilliantly, keeping Lin Dan from taking the attack.
Yeah, because that's the problem.
I've been wanting to say this for a couple of rallies, but Lin Dan lost them all, so I refrained. But I think one of the it's not only one difference, but one of the differences between these two players is the shot quality under pressure. That whenever Sasaki is a little bit off balance, his shot quality goes dramatically down, and that's not the case with Lin Dan or Chen Long, for instance. Even if they're under big pressure, off balance, they still have good shot quality.
Well, he looked as if he was under pressure and perhaps a little bit wobbly just moments ago. As you say, under pressure produces... Oh, that was going out as well. Not judging that sideline at all. No.
Service over, 16-14.
Clearly Long.
It's a bit puzzling that he's making so many mistakes on this side, Lin Dan, because we tend to think that the drift is going from Sasaki towards Lin Dan.
And there's another error.
17-14.
Lin Dan has started out in a much slower pace than I would have expected him to do.
gone wide. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because I mean, right at the start of this match, I said that I suspected that after going to 3 games with the Malaysian Darren Liu, that Lin Dan would come out and show us what he was really made of. He hasn't at all. Not yet. Ugh. Middle of the chest. Back level.
From a Japanese point of view, he's giving away his hard-fought lead a little bit too easy.
Yeah, and I can tell you that Lin Dan's reaction after playing that net shot, turned round to his teammates, a clenched fist, and a little nod towards them as if to say, it's all right, lads, I know what I'm doing, I'm in control. Same reaction again, and show Sasaki down, slow to get up, not because of an injury, because of disappointment. Well, maybe there was an injury. There's a big grimace on the face there. Yeah, but look at Lin Dan's reaction.
Won 8 of the last 10 rallies, Lin Dan.
And 5 straight points. Hasn't been too shabby either. Exactly the right moment. Just when you thought at 14-17, he was looking a little bit shaky.
Kita Masuda shouting advice to Sasaki.
Well, now on a run of 6 straight points. The reigning world and Olympic champion has 3 game points. Oh, it's called wide. Well, Lin Dan looks towards the umpire as if to say, are you not overruling that? I have to say that I was a little bit surprised at the time. We'll get a clearer indication now. Or maybe not. Oof, very difficult to tell from that. I have to say my instinctive reaction as it landed was that it was good. But the line judge in a much better position than I am. I've got better sight of the other side of the court, looking down the line. Still game points, of course. Another 2 game point opportunities for Lin Dan. Well, that is brilliantly saved from Sasaki.
I just don't understand why he plays that long drop shot to Lin Dan's backhand, because it gets him in trouble every time. That little deception in his backhand, Lin Dan, gives him a split-second advantage over Sasaki. But a lucky pickup from the Japanese here.
Well, 3 game points have come and gone, and it's all level once again.
To get a little suspense here, I'd like to see Sasaki take this game 22-20.
Well, of course, we play extra points until there's a clear 2-point winning margin. Unless, of course, it got to 29 all, in which case it's sudden death. It's going wide. Well.
Well played by Sasaki, who kept on pushing there in the flat game. Lin Dan shaking his head, talking to himself. Not entirely satisfied.
So having saved 3 game points, now Sasaki a game point for Japan.
Yes.
Oh.
Excellent pickup from Lin Dan there. I thought one of his earlier returns would have gone in the net. So precise.
Just delightful.
Wide.
Well, chose to play it, made the error, Sasaki, and it means that Lin Dan now has a 4th game point opportunity. It's gone long. This time he converts. 23-21 in 26 pulsating minutes of play. Well, I wonder if Sasaki, well, that was his big chance, and what sort of psychological effect that will have. Having had a game point, he's a game down. Well, more overhead winners. 263. That's 163 miles per hour. Well, Park Jubong and Keita Masuda, 2 coaches, will have a lot of work to do in restoring the belief in this man. Not many players can afford to miss opportunities of game points against the reigning world and Olympic champion. Well, I guess one would expect Lin Dan, having grabbed that opening game, to really run away with it now, but my predictions so far this week have been wildly off.
So is mine.
That's the excitement of sport, isn't it? You never know what's going to happen. And you have to believe that anything is possible.
Perhaps just a little too casual with his shots. Lin Dan. Great service towards the sideline. Then a little bit of a sloppy cross net shot here. That's well played by Sasaki. Not overdoing it on his first attacking shot, but keeping the pressure on Lin Dan. Excellent play.
Line judge slightly hesitant before making the decision that it was long of the back line. Oh, made the right decision in the end. What a good call. Long by a whisker. Oh, that is phenomenal.
If I were Jobong Park or Kita Masuda in the interval, I would have emphasized that Sasaki should try and direct his net shots at Lin Dan's forehand corner instead of his backhand corner, because it's too dangerous playing him in his backhand corner if you're not really commanding the rally.
Well, its last two smashes show Sasaki have been absolutely exquisite. Not the fastest, but the placement so precise.
And very, very often that's the most efficient shot in singles. Precise, the accurate smash just outside the reach. Doesn't have to be that hard. Well played. I think he made the right choices here. Played the backhand corner when he had the upper hand. Did he slice that a little?
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea as well. Good variation. If you slice it a little bit, it doesn't quite reach the opponent.
Oh. Well, when Sasaki was quite clearly off balance, I really expected Lin Dan to punish it, but he didn't. He put back another clear.
It's really strange what's going on at the moment. I like Sasaki's idea of getting it below the tape, but perhaps overdid it a little bit.
Oh, that's tremendous. Well, I think that slice you talked about, was that 2 or 3 rallies ago?
Yeah.
Has just unsettled Lin Dan. Now he's not able to anticipate so well as to where the attacking shot's going to be.
And he's been killing a lot of his smashes, Sasaki. I haven't really noticed if Lin Dan is playing too short, but it would be nice to see the replay and watch the feet of Sasaki. Where's he actually placed on court? Great shot. And it's a soft shot, and it's in the middle of the right-hand side of the court. But Sasaki just didn't expect it to come there. No. He read it completely different.
It's called good. No argument this time from Lin Dan. Not that there was an argument as such before, but obviously a little questioning look towards the line judge previously. No pace on that shot for Sasaki to feed off. Defensively, had to try and create the pace himself. Wasn't able to do so.
Has made a couple of errors from that position. Below the tape and almost in the middle of the court. He himself is trying to play close to the net. That's one of the really dangerous situations, that when you've attacked Lin Dan and he's picked it up and you think that you can just lift it and be okay, then you've lost it. You have to lift it really, really high or play the net.
Well, I'm not surprised the court needing to be mopped. It's very warm in this arena this evening. Yeah, you can see from the shirt, absolutely sodden with perspiration. A very good early judgment. He knew immediately, did show Sasaki, that his opponent's lift from the net there was going to go long of the back line.
And Lin Dan turning to the coaches and waving his arms. What should I do? Can't seem to hit the baseline.
Yeah, well, that's what he should do. That's just wonderful. 9, 10. Sasaki absolutely stranded. Well, Sasaki tosses his racket in the air as well he might, because he just pushed that shuttle up into the hitting zone of Lin Dan. Well, I said the shirt was sodden with perspiration. Quick change of shirt for Sasaki. Can't afford loose shots like that against Lin Dan. There's the disappointment, all too obvious. So on a run of 4 straight points, the Olympic champion has the advantage. The mid-game interval here in the second. Well, not convinced myself that playing a flat, fast game against Lin Dan is the correct tactics, but certainly worked on that occasion.
Yeah, and I quite like it, because you cannot have too much respect for Lin Dan in that flat game, because where can you play it then? So the problem is, if you play flat from a little bit below the tape, then you're in big trouble.
Addressing the shuttle early. He's then got the options, could have played the net shot.
Reminds me of one of the former world champions from China, Zhao Jianhua, who also had this threatening racket blade in his forehand side at the net. It was impossible to see if he was making a net shot or he was pushing.
Zhao Jianhua, of course, also another left-hander. Oh my goodness me. And do I detect signs of panic coming into the play of Sasaki? That's better. Yeah. Patient but positive.
Yeah, and that's mistakes that Lin Dan normally doesn't make. At least not when he's in good shape. And I would have expected him to be in quite good shape in this tournament. And it seems as I look at the match and I watch Lin Dan and think to myself, now he looks really focused, really concentrated. But he still makes a mistake. It's not like Sasaki has been playing perfect or anything. He's been playing some really good rallies, but he's also played some really loose ones. That sort of illustrates it quite clearly.
Oh, there's another one of those errors you wouldn't normally expect.
13, 14.
And once again, Lin Dan walks towards his coaches.
Do you think that Citroën, his new singles coach, has been for the last couple of years or so, of course, former world champion in 2003, and Citroën as a player was very much a runner on court. He was very much a retriever, wasn't he? As though he had a good attack. And I wonder at times whether his influence on Lin Dan, when I compare Lin Dan today, for instance, to Lin Dan winning the Olympic gold medal in Beijing, where he was all out, explosive, attacking, dynamic, aggressive style, whether in fact Citroën has just tempered that a little bit, and whether in fact it's had a good or bad effect on Lin Dan.
Yeah, you might be right there, Jill. I haven't really thought of that until now, but often we see that when players become coaches, they tend to coach the same style they played themselves. And that could be different, it could be difficult or even dangerous, because you need to create the right style for the type of player that you're working with. And as Japanese player, it's I'd rather see Xia Shuangzi on the chair than I would see Tong Shanfu, the old master.
Yeah.
Both as a player and as a coach, responsible for, or highly responsible for, the Indonesian success in the early 90s, and then came back to China and started working with both men's singles and men's doubles.
You see that final smash, to me, the movement to the shuttle, the way he hit it in his aggressive play, having defended. Now, I'm not sure we'll see it, but we missed the movement. But it was the movement there that really was a trademark of Lin Dan of 4 years ago. And we only see glimpses of it nowadays. It may just be an age thing. It may be the fact that he's 28 years of age now and perhaps physically can't sustain that the whole of the match. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
It'll be interesting to see the Olympics, because I have the same impression that, for instance, at the Worlds, playing Li Chongwei, terrible mistake here from Sasaki again, almost a mishit. When Lin Dan was playing Li Chongwei, I got the impression that he was sort of 90% of the Olympics, but he wasn't at his absolute best. He was just trying to survive, trying to get close, trying to be at 15 all in the decider, and then he would have the energy and the strength to gear up. So I'm really looking forward to see the Olympics, and I'm going to be watching what kind of Lin Dan is we seeing here. Is it something that reminds me of the 2008 Olympics, because then the others, they will be wiped away? Or is that his sort of his peak performance, and he's on his way down and is not capable of more than this, then the others have a chance.
Well, he moves to a 5-point cushion. Now you see, that's just extraordinary, isn't it?
The thing is that, as we discussed, Sasaki, he played some really, really nice rallies, but he also played some awful ones. So if he'd been a little bit more consistent, he would have been on his way to winning this match. Or on his way to pushing Lin Dan to a higher level. I interpret that rally as, oh yeah, take it, I'm gonna win this anyway.
Oh, that is a very good smash. Well, this is far from over yet. A roar from the crowds. Lin Dan creeping ever closer to his goal. Yeah, I don't think I've ever saw Charles Zhuangzi looking quite as nervous as that, as he was as a player. He was always very calm and collected, wasn't it? Much more nerve-wracking watching and coaching, I guess, when you're on court. Seem to be oblivious to it a certain amount of the time. So focused into what you're trying to do.
You can see from when Lin Dan has it in his short forehand, a bit away from the net, he's almost always playing a cross-net shot, always trying to get it over to his backhand side. He's never playing straight. I like that play from him. That's great. It's really good tactical. But the other players should try and play it back to his forehand.
Overdone it. Well, had 3 game point opportunities at 2017 in the opening game. He needed a 4th game point opportunity before he finally converted. But here, Lin Dan, perhaps a little different when they're match points. This time, the first time of asking here in the second game. 23-21, 21-17. Thanks the crowd for their support. And I have to say, it was a brave effort from Sho Sasaki. I and many others didn't give him much of a chance playing against Lin Dan on home soil. Lin Dan was pushed all the way here in Wuhan. So confirmation of the score, 23-21, 21-17 in 53 minutes. Well, number of overhead winners from Sho Sasaki. Very impressive indeed. And that is something actually that sticks in my mind, because the number of times he played very accurate smashes, a couple of slices as well that were outright winners. So Lin Dan gets China off to a flying start and a 1-love lead in the overall semi-final. Next on court, of course, is the first men's doubles. And we go from a Chinese Olympic champion to Chinese world champions in the men's doubles. World number ones as well, of course. Chaiyun and Fu Haifeng up against Shoji Sato and Naoki Kawamae. Well, it really is a terrific lineup, isn't it? You start with a reigning world and Olympic champion. Next match-up, you've got 4 times world champions in men's doubles, current world number ones, looking for the elusive gold medal at the Olympics later this year, because of course 4 years ago, Chaiyun and Fu Haifeng was silver medalists, lost out to Marcus Kido and Hendra Setiawan. Well, don't be alarmed, they dim the lights here to bring the players on in the spotlight. But for Sato and Kawamae, well, the top-ranked Japanese pair now, but for a long time, it was Hirata and Hashimoto. And it's a rather ominous statistic as far as Japanese fans are concerned, the fact that this is the 6th meeting between these 2 pairs. And the Japanese pair have only won 1 game, not 1 match, 1 game in the previous 5 encounters. Chaiyun and Fu Haifeng, the world number ones. So greeted with almost silence from the crowd, the announcement of the Japanese pair, Shoji Sato and Naoki Kawamae. Well, this Japanese men's doubles pair, an interesting combination, because I seem to recall that 2 years ago, Shoji Sato played third men's singles in Japan's Thomas Cup campaign, and in fact, in the group stage, broke Malaysian hearts in Kuala Lumpur because he beat Mohammed Hafiz Hashim for Japan to defeat the host Malaysia 3-2 in the last of the group matches. There he is, the 29-year-old from Tokyo. In fact, winner of 14 singles titles, 9 of them back in 2003. And now solely concentrating on men's doubles. Yun and Fu Haifeng. Well, they've achieved virtually everything there is to achieve in the sport. Quite possibly the most feared pair in men's doubles for at least 8 years, possibly even longer. First of their world titles, of course, back in 2006 in Madrid. Well, the biggest hitter in the sport holds the record for the fastest smash in competition play, 332 kilometers an hour. But look at that win-loss record for the year, 12-1. Has to be said, they've only played 2 tournaments, but 2 finals, 1 title. Taiyun, 32 years of age, and almost certainly will be retiring after the Olympic Games. Well, for the Chinese #1 pair in the group, had to play against England's Adcock and Ellis, and it was a tough old encounter. But I suppose the significance so far is the fact that they haven't dropped a game. All of their matches in 2 straight. For the Japanese pair, well, didn't have to contest the quarter-final. As they weren't selected. That seemed a strange decision at the time. #1 pair, not selected for the quarter-final encounter against Indonesia. But obviously came through anyway, otherwise they wouldn't be here in today's semi-final. Those were both group matches. There's Park Jubon on the right as we look at them. Arioni Manaki, brother, of course, of former Olympic men's doubles champion, Rexy. Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. This is the 6th meeting. The last time they met was in the first round of the Denmark Open last year. But I suppose, Steen, it's an indication of how much they've gone up the world rankings. And the fact that they weren't seeded at the Denmark Open. Now the #11 pair in the world. There's our umpire, Ian Spear from England. Girish Natu of India is our service judge. Court officials from all around the world to ensure impartial officiating.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, China, represented by Tago and Fu Haifeng. On my left, Japan, represented by Naoki, Tayo and Suji Sato. Japan to serve, Suji Sato to Tayo. Level, play.
Well, he was a hero for Japan 2 years ago. I think it's a bit of a tougher order today, though. Soji Sato.
1 love.
He's a player that's made the transition from singles into men's doubles and is now playing a lot of mixed doubles as well. Very quick athlete. Yeah, and a good start by the Japanese pair.
2 love.
I remember I was quite puzzled when he, after the Olympics in Beijing, started playing men's doubles and played some lower ranked tournaments in Europe. Definitely developed into a competitive pair.
Oh, that's very nice.
3 love.
I think one of the reasons he was chosen to play the men's doubles was exactly his speed.
Well, the line judge slightly slow to make the call, but I think probably the right decision made in the end. No question of that one. That was definitely long.
2 3.
Well, of course, I suppose it's the coach's dilemma all over the world, and as far as other men's doubles pairs are concerned, most haven't found the answer. How do you beat this top Chinese pair?
It's very difficult. Efficient flick serve here from Fu Haifeng, and that's one of the players where I wish the umpires would review his serving technique, because to me, isn't exactly according to the rules.
What do you think, a little high or
Or
flat?
His racket doesn't point downwards. In fact, it points upwards when he hits the shuttle. Yeah, but to beat Fu and Kai, it's really, really difficult. It's a little bit like Lin Dan, that they won so much, so that sometimes you can catch them a little bit off guard. Or if Fu Haifeng is having problems with his shoulder. A lot of the Chinese strength comes from the threat that Fu Haifeng represents. The world's hardest smasher, and not only are they hard, they are also with a very, very good angle on, and he's varying them.
Service over. 5 all.
And that sort of sets up the kill for Chai Yun, who's very fast and quick on the front court. So if you have a defense that can withstand the smashes of Fu Haifeng and challenge Chai Yun at the net, then you have a chance. But at the moment, it's only Li Yongdae and Zhong Jae-sung, in my opinion.
Yes, of course, that particular Korean pair beat this Chinese combination in the All England final this year, and it was an absolute thriller.
Service over. 6 all.
It's interesting you talk about Fu Haifeng's shoulder, because I noticed on the early stages of this Thomas Cup that Fu Haifeng had got his elbow heavily strapped. We didn't see any strapping on it in the quarterfinals, and he hasn't got any strapping on his arm either today.
7 6.
So presumably any concerns he had about his arm, as Gao Ling, twice Olympic champion in the mixed doubles.
8 6.
Oh. Well, this time the flick serve from Taiyun.
9-6.
Brilliant.
And this review that I'm so rooting for would probably also reveal that it is in fact possible to make really, really good flick serves without breaking the service rules. And sometimes it's just automatically that when there's a flick and it looks really, really flat, then it's a service fault.
Yes, of course, there's several rules about the serve in badminton. One of them is that the shuttle must be struck below the waist and the racket must be pointing in a downward direction. You're not allowed to move your feet. You're not allowed to strike the feathers first. It's all highly complicated, which is why we have a dedicated service judge to every match. One responsibility to keep an eagle eye on the serve. Yeah, very sharp at the nets, Fu Haifeng. Normally expect to see his partner in a front court position.
When they started playing as a pair, Fu and Kai, Fu was actually not that good at the net. So if you could switch them around, you had a really good opportunity, but he's improved a lot, and that makes it much harder to target him at the net.
Oh, service fault called. There we go. Girish Natu of India. Just indicating to the player that the racket wasn't pointing in a downward direction. Well, just by the gestures there, it was obviously something about intercepting at the net. I don't know whether it was about getting it past the Chinese players or that they had to hunt the shuttle more.
11-9. Play.
Well, the whole rally started with that excellent low serve.
12-9.
Forced the Japanese pair to lift the shuttle. And from that moment on, there was only one outcome.
We've been talking a lot about the attacking capabilities of the Chinese pair, but of course they also have an excellent defense, because that's a prerequisite in top men's doubles. You can't play without defense unless your name is Kido and Citroën, who are not that strong in defense, but really, really good in the service situation. And these two pairs met each other at the Olympics, and the service situation was the deciding factor. So even though you get the attack against Fu and Kai, you're not sure to win because they have an excellent defense. So you must be able to work really, really hard. Maintain the control of the rally.
11-13.
Japanese Hubei Cup team down in force tonight to support the men. Of course, Japan lost their Hubei Cup semi-final 3-0 to Korea. goodness. Well, I suppose that one of the big differences between these two pairs, because the Japanese just getting the shuttle back but unable to really do anything with it, and there was so much attacking play from the Chinese that in the end you felt it was inevitable they were going to get the shuttle on the floor.
There's been a lot of Chinese mixed doubles combination that is sort of has the same setup. A very, very strong male player, very hard-hitting male player, and then an excellent female player at the net, excellent anticipation abilities, and that you have a fairly easy task as a net player if you have the player with the hardest smash in the world behind you. You get some good chances.
Service over. 12-15.
Yeah, very much take your point about defensive play, because what did that need? 4 smashes?
Yeah.
Well, the Japanese actually managed to finish off the rally.
And 4 clever smashes, because they weren't that hard, but they were steep.
Yeah.
And they kept their balance after smashing, so they could help each other covering the front court.
Yeah, good involvement of both players. Good rotational play. No, we've narrowed the gap to just 1 point. And Tian Bingyi looking a little bit concerned. Well, the Japanese pair in the wrong formation, well spotted by the umpirean spear.
See Park on the coaching chair, showing with movements of his hands how he wanted that defense to be played instead. Wanted more of a block. And smashes where the Chinese are in really good position. That's it. Block it. In the corner of the screen, we could just see him urging on his players. That's the right thing you're doing, guys. Block it and be ready for the next shot. If you don't give them any angle, their only choice is to block it back and you'll be able to lift again. What a great match this has turned out to be. They fit each other so nicely, these two pairings.
Yes, I couldn't help but think as the rally was in progress what lovely movement and interchanges between the two Japanese players. One moves out, the other moves forward, and then one's out of position, the other compensates by adjusting their position on court. Great understanding.
Yeah, and they use their speed in a positive way.
1 point in it. Oh, dear me. Just when they seem to be on a little run of points, the error on the serve from Shoji Sato.
Again, we see that when Fu Haifeng is firing away his smashes, the Japanese players block it
and move forward.
and move forward,
Yeah.
and not giving Chaiyun anything to work with.
No, he doesn't show much emotion, does he, Japanese manager? Former top singles player, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's just wide.
I think actually it could be a good idea if you could give his serve a little bit more speed, because Chaiyun always moves very fast towards the net and tries to play it just to play a block straight over the net. So a little bit more speed would make it harder for him to judge how much he should apply. That was in.
Yeah. Oh, once again, they narrow the gap to just one solitary point. Yeah, clearly in. Poor Jubong urging his men on, still giving instruction. Yeah, they're back level. Dare to believe
That they can win this match or that they can beat China.
one match at a time.
I was thinking about the whole tie. Should they take this match 1-all? They have a good chance in the second men's doubles. A lot of pressure on Chen Long.
And of course, Kenichi Tago, who's playing against Chen Long at second men's singles, has beaten him on a couple of occasions. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because in the pressure situation, the Chinese will come out on top on that rally, and it means they have game point.
And now the service judge really has to be alert.
Pushed it wide. And the game point is squandered. Oh my goodness, is that quick or what?
Fantastic play.
Extraordinary.
Moving back and forth from left to right at the net like he was remotely controlled.
Now, game point to Japan. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a lot easier than the previous one. Well, nerves undoubtedly playing their part. One all. Oh, well, the call from Sato to his partner to leave the shuttle at the back of the court, and Kawamae decided at the last moment that his partner was wrong and he had to try and play it. And by then, it was just far too late. Well, it's all happening here. Second game point opportunity for China.
Great save by Chaiyun.
Yeah, some very positive play by the Japanese combination.
And I like that they keep the attack on one person. I don't think Chaiyun is particularly weak in the defense, but just so that your partner knows where you're going to hit it. It could have been Fu Haifeng, but keep it on one.
Well, what did you say about Taiyun and the fact that he always wants to play that net shot reply of the low serve? Well, he does it again. And again, China have game point. Oh, that is unbelievable. What an interception. Look at the height he gets before he plays the shot. Remarkable. All level once again. Oh, yes.
Excellent play by the Chinese here. Really giving away no chances to the Japanese players. Superb follow-up by Chaiyun.
Game point number 4. This time, the world champions convert. But my goodness, didn't they have to work hard for that opening game. 25-23. And badminton of the very, very highest quality.
Fantastic match so far. Really, really enjoyable. And especially this guy at the net, the small Shoji Sato from Japan.
.23 and 25-23. Well, the dominance at the net, I'd be very interested to know how many of those 10 winners came from Taiyun. Well, I don't know about the players, but I feel exhausted. excitement's all getting to me.
And even though China has won the first 3 games in this match, it has turned out much more even than at least I would have expected, and that's just nice.
Yeah, all credit to the Japanese players.
Second game. Level. Play.
Well, if this second game is half as good as the first, we're in for a treat. Well, not a bad return of serve, was it?
1 love.
Must have been watching Jonas Rasmussen on videotape. Exactly the same deception.
Yeah, nicely done.
2
Well,
love.
Steen, picking up on the point that you've just been talking about, that all 3 games that we've seen so far, in other words, the 2 games of the men's singles and the first game of this men's doubles, have been a lot closer than you would have imagined or thought prior to the start of this contest. It's another good rally again. Yeah, very, very good. I was talking to one of our colleagues from the Malaysian written press earlier today, and she was saying, what do you love about the sport? What do you look for in players? And I said, well, it's the players who can really respond in the pressure situations. Japan came into this semi-final under real pressure. I think I said that they were up against it. It was a tall order. But my goodness, haven't they responded so well?
They've really brought out the best in their players, and no sign of nervousness or fatigue or anything, just giving everything they've got. And we sort of would have expected them to, but we weren't aware that they were having so much to give.
Yeah.
And if I were Fu and Kai, I wouldn't be looking forward to meeting these Japanese players in the first round of the knockout stage at the Olympics.
3
That will spell trouble.
1.
Yes, highly dangerous pair.
And it looks like Fu and Kai are a little content with having won the first game, and needs a couple of rallies to sort of get their game together again. At least the Japanese taking the lead here in the second game.
Yes, and they may have lost that rally, but I have to say, you know, it displays such good character, doesn't it? The fact that the Japanese pair so close in that opening game, in fact, had a game point themselves. They lose the opening game, and yet immediately back, full focus, full attention, full effort. It'd be awfully easy to be a little bit despondent after such a close opening game. Not a bit of it. Oh, that's a good low serve.
3 4.
It could be nice to have some slow motion close-ups of these services. We have the cameras to do it. Instead, we have a picture of Zhang Jun, himself really a hard hitter in the mixed doubles.
4 4. Service over.
And back at home in the service situation, you can try keeping an eye on the arm that is holding the shuttle when the service is being delivered. Often it's almost vertical.
Horizontal.
Horizontal, sorry.
5-all.
Yeah, I don't think that was the wisest choice of defensive shot. Playing cross court and the left-handers at the net. Oh my goodness.
Excellent attack from the world champions.
6-5.
They get a little extra speed in their attack. Standing in
Onto court, please.
that end.
Play.
Excellent play. Hubei varying his attack here with a tight drop shot.
Oh my goodness. Well, Japanese don't like the call, and I have to say my instinct was I have sympathy for them.
I couldn't see it. I could not see.
Well, the umpire, Ian Spear, saying I couldn't see. Well, it certainly wasn't lengthwise. We won't see from that shot whether it was out the side of the court or not. Of course, just to reiterate, the umpire can only overrule a line judge if he sees that a clear error has been made. And at the far side of the court to where the umpire sits, and it's as close as that, he can't possibly make an overrule. Well, Fu Haifeng missing that last attempted kill. But I do sense, Steen, that the last 3 or 4 rallies, Chinese pair have upped the intensity and more attacking play.
They've dominated. And just picked up a hand signal from Sato with the service, but still in the middle of the court. And I would think it would be quite important if he was able to vary his serve a little bit.
Oh! Well, it's another tremendous rally. And the margins between success and failure at this level, absolutely tiny.
9-7.
There's the rotational play. Again, a great example of that.
I'm not entirely sure I'm right, but I think the Chinese might have changed their defense a little bit. So instead of trying a high defense, they also have tried to lower their defense a bit. So it's not so easy for the Japanese to get these lethal angles on their shot.
On to talk, please.
That's great. Very efficient
10-7.
at the net. Citroën.
Service fault called.
8-10.
Oof, my goodness.
But I'm not convinced there's a service fault here.
Well, when he first fell over, I thought he just slipped, and then when I saw it again, it looked a little more serious than at first I'd realised, but doesn't seem to have been any lasting damage. Last thing we need is another injury. Of course, world #1 in the men's singles, Lee Chong-wei, badly twisted an ankle against Peter Gader in a group match, and certainly all of us here wish him a speedy recovery.
9-10.
Great shot from Fu Haifeng, but unfortunately for him, it went too high.
Interval.
Well, definitely quietens the crowd, doesn't it, when the Japanese pair are in the lead? Well, it really has been a very, very tight contest so far.
10. Play.
Oh, dear me.
Service over.
Well, the break
11.
not helping the Japanese pair after that run of 4 straight points from 7-10 adrift.
Service over.
Very patient and steady work here from the Japanese.
11.
shift in the chair there from Li Yongbo. Yes.
So quick in his reactions at the net, Chaiyun.
How much of it is reaction speed and how much is reading what's going to happen? A lot of both, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
It's gone well wide.
I think it's a good idea as a net player to practice doing things in higher speed that you would normally experience in the games. That's the only way of pushing yourself.
Samsung. 14-all.
Well, both the Chinese players hovering around the net area, both ready and looking to pounce.
14.
In contrast, the Japanese pair pushed so deep in their defensive stances. Yeah, that's well taken from Kawamae.
15-all.
Oh, it's just long. Well, talk about Kaiyun being fast at the nets. Sato isn't that far behind, I can assure you. Very, very quick. Just mistimed it.
17-15.
I liked everything about that rally except the last shot. Pushing it past Chaiyun on the service return to Fu Haifeng. Keeping the attack, but then a little bit of accuracy, perhaps a little bit of speed lacking for Kawamae.
Oh. Well, he may be 32 years of age, but he hasn't slowed down at all, has he? As far as that is concerned.
He's really stepping up right now. I believe he's the captain of the Chinese team. Is
Yep,
that right?
that's right.
Always the leader in
18-15.
cheering up his teammates and getting them together before the match.
Yeah, very experienced athlete. And a very popular, not just player, but very popular within the team. 3-point cushion now, Chinese combination. Good serve again.
Service over.
And that's wild from Fu Haifeng.
16-18.
And he's fallen a little bit behind in the soft game the last 5 or 6 rallies, but Chaiyun has stepped up.
Yeah, this is the real experience of the pair, isn't it? Stepping up the pace at exactly the right moment. Now just 2 points away from victory.
Service over. 17-19.
Oh, it's gone wide. Took the interception a little too late. It did Sato. Well, I seem to remember this scoreline in the opening game.
20, match point, 17.
3 match points now for Taiyun and Fu Haifeng. Well, shuttle hit the top of the tape but fell back the Chinese side. Still match point to China. This time they convert. Second match point opportunity and a second point in the semi-final tie for China. 25-23, 21-18. Well, they were always favourites, were the world champions to take this men's doubles. #1 pair in the world. But my goodness, what a great fight the Japanese #1 pair put up. 274, that final smash. Has hit one at 290 this week. Their confirmation that after 49 minutes, Taiyun and Fu Haifeng take the first men's doubles, 25-23, 21-18. And they really did build the rallies so well, and I think the indication of that is the fact that they hit so many winners from the front of the court. Very, very difficult, as Steve Peterson was saying earlier. They hit winners from the back. Quality of defence nowadays in men's doubles is absolutely superb, but it wasn't a defensive game. It was all about the attack. Well, that confirms that China are 2-love up in this semi-final tie against Japan. Both of those first 2 matches in 2 straight games. But the overall tie in progress 2 hours just shows the quality of the play so far. Well, next up, it is the world number 3, Chen Long, up against Kenichi Tago of Japan. Kenichi Tago, number 8 player in the world, and a man who has on 2 previous occasions actually beaten Chen Long. Although Chen Long has also beaten Kenichi Tago. This, the 6th meeting between these 2 men. And perhaps with China leading 2-love in the overall tie, may put a different complexion on this. Just felt that if it could have been 1-1 in the overall tie, that Tago would have had a very good chance. I'm not saying he hasn't got a good chance as it is, but the fact that your teammates and your team are 2-love down does make it a very, very difficult situation for Tago.
Yeah, and especially it makes it an easier situation for Chen Long. He can now seal the victory and be the hero here, and that takes a bit of pressure off him. Had it been 1-1, and he would start thinking that in the second men's doubles it's actually quite even, because the Chinese pairing of Shen Ye and Hong Wei aren't that experienced compared to Fu and Kai, who's world champions, several times world champions, so
yeah,
could have been exciting.
Well, Chen Long has been as high as number 2 in the world ranking, but I don't think he has the repertoire of shots of Lin Dan, who we saw first match up this evening. Well, the crowd here just being given a little bit of a breather. And the players about to come onto court. What a moment for both of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 3rd match of Thomas Cup semifinals, men's single. Please welcome the technical officials.
Well, the court officials invited onto court first.
Umpire Chen Zhisheng from Chinese Taipei. Service judge Elaine Kong from United States of America.
Really is a wonderful arena here in Wuhan. The whole Wuhan Sports Center complex, magnificent, huge main stadium, magnificent swimming pool, adjoining buildings. So Chen Long physically very strong athlete, tall athlete too. And for him, a great opportunity to get China through to the final of the Thomas Cup once more. For Kenichi Tago, well, man who's been in the All England final a couple of years ago. Knowing Tago, he will see this as a great challenge. It's interesting, Thosteen, isn't it? The fact that these 2 men in 2007 played against each other in the World Junior Championships, and both of them have followed that potential and that talent through to now being 2 of the world's best players.
It's absolutely great, and men's single really needs some new names. Really need new, strong players on the block. Peter Gere is retiring. Taufik Hidayat is retiring. There's been talks about even Lee Chong-wei retiring. We'll have to see about that. At least he tends to get injured a bit more, and yeah, we need these idols to come forward and put pressure on the elder players. Peter, Taufik, Lee Chong-wei, Lin Dan, they've been dominant for so long, so it'll really be nice with these new names.
Yes, some new stars ready to emerge onto the world scene. And I think these are two of the players that could do exactly that. Well, all of his matches so far, he's won, including that quarter-final against the man you've just been talking about, former world and Olympic champion Taufik Hidayat of Indonesia. 22-year-old from Tokyo. Here's his coach, Keita Masuda. Reached the final of the Malaysian Superseries event, did Tago, earlier this year. For the world number 3 from Hubei Province, on the east coast of China. For Chen Long, well, whilst he's been in great form throughout this Thomas Cup campaign, considering how well he did at the end of last year, slightly surprising to me that he hasn't yet reached a final of an individual tournament so far in 2012. But I guess sometimes players have a really good run, a good spell on the world scene, where, of course, Chen Long had 2 wins over the world number 1, Lee Chong-wei, at the end of last year. And then you need time just to consolidate that sort of performance and make it a regular thing. Of course, you're under pressure. Everybody's looking at you. Everybody's analysing you because you've become a real threat. And that's when perhaps you sit on a bit of a plateau before making a rise up the mountain again. Well, as I said, and as you've just seen, this is the 6th meeting between these two players, the previous 5. Chen Long has the advantage, having won 3 of them. But the last time they met was in the quarter-final of the All England in March earlier this year. 3 games Tago needed to beat Chen Long. 21-14 in the decider. And the last encounter between 2 players is always a significant influence. As a player, you always tend to remember that last time you played. Draw confidence from it, or perhaps the opposite. Well, there's our umpire. Chen Chia-shen of Taipei. Lin Kong from the United States of America is the service judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hubei, Japan, represented by Tago. And on my left, China, represented by Chen Long. China to serve, level, hey.
The moment of truth. It's a must-win situation for Kenichi Tago. He's up against the world number 3, Chen Long. Chen Long with the opportunity to seal China's place in Sunday's final. Tago, son of a very famous badminton player, Yoshiko Yonikura, who along with Takuda reached 2 All England finals in women's doubles. Bronze medalists at the World Championships as well. And I know that Kenichi Tago has openly stated that his ambition in badminton is to achieve what his mother achieved. Well, I think that, well, okay, only one All-England final. But he's certainly made his mark already in World Badminton. Oh, that's found the line.
I was just wondering, is he going to change to playing ladies double? Or
It's always very difficult, though, for children of famous sporting parents, because you inevitably get compared. Very difficult at times to live up to the status of an outstanding athletic parent. He's handled the pressure well.
In terms of being under pressure in this match, because his team is trailing 2-0, I don't think it affects him too much. And the reason is that I don't believe that Japan is counting on winning this match. Of course, it could be nice, and they're doing everything they can to it, but they simply couldn't expect to be moving on to the final.
So devoid of pressure, and perhaps the freedom to get out there and just give it a go, see what happens. Dare to believe, as I said earlier. In fact, I learnt that from one of your fellow countrymen, a former mixed doubles partner of mine, Steen Fladberg. Always used to say to me, don't be afraid, Jill. Dare to believe. Just go for it.
He certainly had a lot of self-confidence, and of course he was the world champion in men's doubles in '83, and still when I was coaching the Danish national team 20 years later in 2003, sometimes he'd stop by and say that if we needed to increase the pace in practice, he was ready.
Yeah. Of course, his son is doing very well in badminton now, isn't he? Erasmus Fladberg. Just coming out of junior events now, isn't he? And starting to play on the senior tour.
Yes, he is.
It's a good rally. Yeah. Now, obviously, you and I have been watching Chen Long earlier in the week. We've talked about his qualities and his physicality. He's so good at retrieving the shuttle and recovering when he appears to be out of position. Now, what about Tago? What's his real qualities as a player?
Yeah, Tago's a little bit more difficult the way I see it, because in the beginning when he emerged on the international scene, I thought he had a really big smash. So I'll have to give you a rain check on that, Jill, and perhaps fill it out during this game.
Well, that in itself is very telling to me, that there is not one thing that you can put your finger on at the moment and say, this is where he's very good. To me, he's one of those players that is a very complete player. He has a lot of shots, but you wouldn't say that, as you've just said, he's not got the biggest smash in the world. Perhaps hasn't got the sort of explosive movement of a Lee Chong-wei or a Lin Dan, but everything he does, he tends to do very well, so that he's always pressurizing opponents.
Yeah, and he's quick on his feet as well, and he definitely has improved his defense and his ability to play in windy conditions. I remember from World Championships in India that I think he was playing Taufik. If not, then I don't remember, but I think he was playing Taufik, and I just remember these windy conditions, they didn't suit him well at that time.
I think it was Simon Santoso, actually. It was certainly an Indonesian player.
It's possible.
Yep, just wide. Good judgment. a great angle, but it's no good if it misses the mark. Oh, that's brilliant. How early did he take that? Beautiful play from Tago.
He seems to move quite effortless on the court. Smooth movements.
You know, one of the first times I watched this young man from Japan was at the Citroën Cup, I think, in Glasgow, when he was still a teenager. And the first thing I thought of when I saw his style of play was Taufik Hidayat. Similar sort of effortless moving.
Yeah, there's a lot of resemblance.
It was only a couple of years later that I discovered that Tago's idol is Taufik Hidayat.
He's definitely not afraid to let Chen Long come to him, so to speak. Chen Long probably the physical strongest player in the field.
Those incredible legs. And muscles in those. He's a tall athlete too, 189.
Oh, that was wide.
That's game out.
Yeah, 189. That's incredibly high for a singles player nowadays.
Yeah. Incredibly tall as far as Chinese badminton players are concerned. In fact, his teammates have a nickname for him, which is R Long, which means little long.
That could go for Victor Axelsen as well.
Yeah. Yes, Tago not happy with the mopping up from the court attendant. Gets him back. Oh, that's quick. Ready to pounce, using those strong legs to launch himself towards the net. Wasn't the best of net shots, has to be said, from Tago. But that sends a clear message, doesn't it, from Chen Long? The threat of net play. And again, so early at the net. Terrific angle on the smash, concentrating on angle and placement rather than power. And then moving forward in court so quickly to take the early net shot. So 3 straight points to Chen Long. That time he used his power.
I think it was very, very short service return from Tago here. It was
just over 158 miles per hour.
very, very powerful smash. And keeping his balance and rushing towards the net afterwards.
Oh, perfection. We're looking straight down that line.
Nice patient play from Tago here, waiting for a good opportunity.
Oh, terrific. Totally deceiving Kenichi Tago, sending him in the wrong direction. And that sends play to the mid-game interval. 3-point advantage for Chen Long, the world number 3. Taking it late. Only took the shuttle about shoulder height.
但是他一到主动你就先追他，基本上他还。
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Hello. Eleven, 8, break.
Oh, that's nice. Well, that will certainly encourage Tago, because that's the first time in quite a while that I think he's got the better of his opponent at the net.
He's doing a lot of the right things. He's just doing them in a little bit slower pace than actually is required. Nice placement there again.
10, 12.
I think he's a clever player, Jill.
Yeah.
I think he's a clever player, got a good eye for the game. Shot again.
11, 12.
I particularly like that push down the line from the net. Twisted his racket a little bit. Actually a bit of a reverse slice from the net, if you could say that. Even though it was a push.
Oh.
Time is over. 13, 11.
Usually I didn't particularly enjoy seeing Chen Long play, but I've come to appreciate it more. The qualities that he has.
Oh, that's good judgment. He was going to hit it, decided to get out of the way instead. And a little nod of approval from Charles Ranger. Well, as Chen Long increases his lead to 4 points, I have to say, I've been a little bit concerned. There seems to be a laser beam to my left. Somebody in the crowd. And that was to shine in the eye of one of the players. Could be quite serious. Thankfully, the players at the moment seem unaware of it.
And it's also disturbing that it moves around the stadium during play.
Yep. Good defense.
That was going to go wide.
That one has.
One thing about Chen Long is that he's so good at picking, recognizing when the opportunity is there. We've seen a couple of smashes from his backhand side, and when we see it in replay, we can see that his feet are not touching the double service line. And I really think that's a skill that is underestimated, being able to pick the right spots.
Sixteen, 11.
good judgment. He's in a position, could have played it. Wise decision to leave it. It was on the sideline, but it was out. Five straight points, just when you thought Tago was beginning to put him under pressure. Chen Long ups the intensity.
I love this shot. Cross smash from the forehand. Not a lot of players are doing that. Perhaps a little bit sliced, to be fair.
It's such good play from Chen Long.
We can see Tago has a really, really good touch at the net, but Chen Long isn't bothered. He just lifts to the baseline and uses his physique. 260 kilometers per hour was that.
162 miles per hour. Two points from the opening game on a run of 7 straight points.
Service over. 12-19.
So far, to me, Chen Long has been the most threatening player in the Chinese team. But of course, he's playing the second singles, and normally the players that he competes with, they all play first singles from the other teams. So maybe that's why it looks so convincing.
Yeah, he looks in good physical shape to me, though, as well. Looks sharp, looks eager. And that's very good judgment, too. 8 opportunities to close out this opening game. Yeah, that is good judgment, isn't it? No, he's missed him.
Service over. 13-20. Then
Yep, second time of asking. 21-13. And China appear to be on their way to yet another Thomas Cup final. One more game needed within this second men's singles match. Will do it.
Well,
25 minutes. Wow, look at the number of overhead winners there from Chen Long. Hasn't thrown in a flick serve yet, though.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
I'm really I'm excited to see the second game because I'm not really able to see what Tago can come up with. So if he comes up with something, I'd really be interested to see what it is. He's been playing well, but been a little bit unsharp on some of his lifts, and immediately they get punished.
Okay.
Reports have been said that
Second
he was a bit
game.
injured.
Level.
Reports from the Japanese team, but that could in fact be the case. So he's not as sharp as he'd like to be.
Yes, even if he's over his injury now, if it's hampered his preparation for this. Oh, that's an unbelievable lift. How on earth did he control that? Well, it was the sideline that it landed on. Clearly in as far as the back line is concerned.
That just seems to be such a demoralizing rally for Tago, because he tried all the right things, but everything kept coming back. Try a little disguised lift here, but didn't work. Immediately read by Chen Long and once again punished.
Yes, Chen Long's so good at making opponents twist and turn, isn't he? Get down low. Well, I suspect the sheer threat of Chen Long at the net, forcing Tago into error.
He feels that he has to play it really close, otherwise Chen Long will lift it and it will be very, very close to the baseline.
Yeah.
We had this game earlier in the week. Spot the low quality shot from Chen Long.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why it has to be.
There wasn't any. No one in that rally. Every shot, high quality.
Yep.
Even under a bit of pressure. It's his second last shot.
Yeah.
Well, let's try again.
Yeah, because you just sense that Tago has to stop this run of points.
No, unfortunately. Still no low quality shot.
Well, if you look from the scoreline in the opening game, well, it was 12-11 to now. Chen Long has won 14 of the last 16 points. 5 love. He leads here in the second. Missed it.
Thank you.
Kevin Corden. I just thought I'd say the name in this match because we haven't mentioned him here, and there's no need to mention him.
Oh, that's going wide. Yeah, for those of you that weren't with us the other day, when we were talking about Kevin Corden of Guatemala beating Chen Long in the first round of the World Championships last year. One of the biggest upsets of the tournament. But after that, Chen Long then won the next 3 tournaments he played, next 3 Super Series events. That's how you respond to disappointment.
2-6.
Wide again.
Yeah, mentally he's feeling under pressure to go for the lines, go for perfection all the time. And when you do that, inevitably, you do make some errors. Oh, that's lovely.
Service over. 3-7.
Just guiding the last shuttle into the open space.
And it illustrates what we've discussed earlier, that you need to have the ability to play 3 or 4 really, really high quality shots to win points nowadays in the men's singles.
Goes just wide. Couldn't help but think when he played that backhand how reminiscent that was of Taufik Hidayat earlier on in the rally. Oh. Yeah, good low serve. He was wanting the push down his backhand side. That's another thing, isn't it, Steen, with all these top players? They don't just hit a shot for the sake of hitting a shot. It's all with the thought process of what can I expect back? How is this going to affect me within the rally? Where have I got to move to? It's all a bit of a game of chess, really.
Yeah, the purpose with the shot might only become clear in 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah.
If we speak in terms of being the favorite to losing the rally, then in one shot you might be 10% to 90 to win the rally, and your goal is then to be 30 to 70 on the next shot, and then clawing back to 50-50, getting a little bit ahead on 51-49 and trying to build on that until you can make a winner.
Seven-point advantage. And desperately, Tago needs to close this gap before the mid-game interval. If not close it, get a little closer, but it's not going to happen. 11-3, the advantage to the world number 3, Chen Long, here in the second game, having taken the first. And it just looks to me, Steen, as if the belief is beginning to seep away from Tago.
Yeah, and also the stadium is beginning to calm down. They know which way this is going to go, and then of course we'll see some excitement towards the end when China is inevitably qualifying for the final.
There's in fact 1 or 2 spectators believe it's all but over right now. A couple of spectators nearby already leaving the arena. Well, I seem to remember the last match of the English Premier League. 1 or 2 Manchester City fans leaving when their team were 2-1 down. My goodness, didn't they miss some excitement? You never know what can happen.
11-3.
Tago has to hang on to that belief. He's only hanging on at the moment, I think, by his fingertips.
It's really a lesson to be learned for all the singles players out there, that until you're able to make that many good shots in a row as Chen Long is, it's not good enough. You can always get better. Or should I say at least as many good shots. Just excellent play. Tago isn't able to steal time from Chen Long, get him off balance.
Yeah, well, it took the perfect net shot.
Service over. 4-13.
But even that, Chen Long got back. I know it wasn't particularly deep, but it does emphasize your point.
We haven't got the statistics, but I would imagine that Tago has scored all his 4 points by himself.
Winners, you mean, rather than errors from Chen Long?
Yes.
It's a great lift again. Clever smash aiming towards the right hip.
And we could see that Chen Long wasn't satisfied with not returning that one. He's leading 21-13, 13-5. Still he wasn't satisfied. He would have gotten that over the net. Not good enough. The ability to register that and still keep your composure and be satisfied is okay.
Well, a little revival here from Kenichi Tago. Magnificent. Yeah, landed on the line. No question, clearly in. Well, some of the Chinese fans getting a little bit irate that the cameras are on the Japanese teammates. Oh, why on earth not? 4 straight points to Tago. Make that 5 straight points. Halve the 10-point deficit. Good lift. Oh. Yeah, good judgment, lands wide.
He's really playing it tight now at the net.
Yeah, very, very good indeed. And all of a sudden, with a scoreline reduced to just 4 points difference between the two players, it's a believable scoreline, isn't it? I think one or two of those fans near us that have already departed the stadium may be regretting it. There's plenty of excitement left in this match yet.
And you said it at 11-3, Jill. Never give in.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, badminton of the very highest quality. Wonderful smash straight down the line. A little hold and flick from the net.
On the way, just a little glance out to the teammates. Did you see it? I'm back, you can count on me.
Yeah.
Tell Shen Yi and Hong Wei they can stop warming up.
I think what amazed me about, and what mesmerised me really about that last rally, as we saw it again, was Chen Long's movement forward. After he plays this shot, he lands 2 big steps. And he's at the net again. Oh, pity we didn't see it.
That just shows his extreme power. There's no little small steps to be able to move towards the net. It's just stand there and move.
Oh, my word, this is brilliant. Just wide.
Tago made at least 3 shots in a row that would have been potential winners against players outside of top 10. Here, it wasn't even enough to win the rally.
Really taking his time. Well, I suppose the opportunity was there. Looked to be in balance, Tago, as he played that shot and just dragged it down a little too steeply. Oh, phenomenal. He leapt from the base position there after the low serve, back in court to thunder down that smash. Once again demonstrating the power in those legs. Well, he was going to leave it. Chen Long down the side suddenly decided he'd got to play it. By then it was too late. Too late to get control on the shot, that is. Chen Long just holds his hand up to indicate that he wasn't ready to receive the serve. I think the umpire's going to have a word with Chen Long here. Yep, indeed. Come on, you've got to get ready a little quicker. Little harsh, 52 minutes of pulsating badminton. Just shows the quality of the rallies, because that opening game, the scoreline suggests it was quite easy. Certainly wasn't. Oh,
No.
it's unbelievable. Oh, he looked so casual about it. But that, in fact, was wonderful, wonderful skill from Tago. Just brushes across the feather, making sure that he doesn't touch the net. Well, as the court is mopped of the perspiration once again, there's there to be another twist in the tail.
It's not that he has played badly, Tago. I actually think that if you take out the Chinese and the unfortunate injured Li Chongwei, then this way of playing would have secured him a victory against any other player in the tournament.
Well, the previous one on the forehand side worked, and that one on the backhand side did not. What were we saying about the margins between success and failure? Absolutely tiny at this level. 3 points away now, Chen Long from securing China in the final once more. Make that 2 points. It's another excellent rally.
And Tago's defense held up this time. At least long enough to get Chen Long to make one of his very, very rare errors.
Yeah, everybody's getting a little bit jittery now, aren't they?
Chen Long just disposes of an insect of some kind.
Oh, it's found the line. Just 1 point required for the defending champions to reach their 11th Thomas Cup final. Not yet.
Service over. 13-20.
Now the little clenched fist there from Chen Long, as if to say to himself, come on, this time, third time lucky. What a wonderful net shot from Tago.
Definitely has got some of that Hidayat touch
Yeah.
that you mentioned earlier, Joe. Great
Well,
play.
And it shows great character, doesn't it? $12-20 down. Yeah, Li Yongbo says, don't worry, keep calm. Well, 4 match points have been saved. Another 4 remain. This time, and Li Yongbo and Chen Long celebrate because China, the defending champions of the Thomas Cup, are through to the final once more. Of course, they've lifted the title on the last 4 occasions, 8 times in total. And on Sunday, they will contest the Thomas Cup final for an incredible 11th time. Yes, he's mighty happy with that, and so he should be. But let's spare a thought for the Japanese team, because I personally feel that every single one of the Japanese players who have played today have performed to their very highest possible level. They've given it their all, and they've fought all the way. But China, the defending champions, have beaten a spirited fight by the Japanese. 3-0 in this semi-final tie. So confirmation of that third match, the second men's singles, Chen Long victory over Kenichi Tago, 21-13, 21-16 in exactly an hour of play. Well, once again, the overhead winners for Chen Long far superior to those of his opponent, but we've talked about the touch of Tago at the net, and that's reflected in those statistics there. So there is confirmation of the 3-love victory in this semi-final of the Thomas Cup. All started with Lin Dan, 2 straight games against a fellow left-hander, Sasaki, and then Tago and Fu Haifeng. Very impressive, as always, in the men's doubles. And as we've just seen, Chen Long, well, just an incredible athlete, and that means that, as with 4 years ago in Jakarta, it will be China against Korea to battle it out for the Thomas Cup. And that, of course, will happen on Sunday. Well, prior to that Thomas Cup final, of course, the Hubei Cup has to be decided, and that will take place tomorrow. And like the Thomas Cup, it will be China against Korea. But in the Hubei Cup, it is Korea who are the holders. Well, it really was a thrilling day here on semi-finals day at the 27th Thomas Cup. Lin Dan, the showman, the Olympic champion, and then the world champions in the men's doubles, Citroën and Fu Haifeng. Well, their victory, they had to survive a game point in the opening game against Sato and Kawamae. That came through 25-23, 21-18. And then Chen Long, a repeat of the 2007 World Junior Championships against Tago. Oh my goodness, haven't these two men progressed in the senior game? Badminton of the very highest quality. But Chen Long coming through 21-13, 21-16, and securing China's place in the final for Sunday. Well, as I say, Hubei Cup will be decided tomorrow, and it will be the holders, Korea, up against the 11-time winners, China. That's a little later in the afternoon tomorrow. That's 1400 local time. Do hope you'll be joining us for that Hubei Cup final. But in the meantime, from all of us here in Wuhan, hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Till now, our competition has come to an end. Till now, our competition has come to an end. Please leave the venue orderly, avoiding crowding, and be safe. Thank you for the support of the work in Wuhan Sports Center. We are expecting your next coming. 本场比赛到此结束，请各位观众